21 years ago tonight, Dale Earnhardt died.
NASCAR legend Dale Earnhardt Sr. crafted a perfect persona born of this self-assurance.
In the world of car racing, the name Dale Earnhardt was recognized as a legend while he lived and even in death. His name was synonymous with fearlessness, determination, and sheer power. However, his unfortunate demise in 2001 while racing the final lap of the Daytona 500 left both his fans and family with a Dale-sized hole in their hearts. Dale Earnhardt was not just your regular NASCAR driver, he was an excellent sportsman who made the game come alive. But recently, his wife, Teresa Earnhardt, has broken silence on aspects of the life of the racing legend that had long remained a secret: the rise of a racing legend. When it comes to NASCAR history, only a few names carry the kind of admiration and respect that Dale Earnhardt did. Known as the man who reshaped stock car racing forever over decades-long career, Earnhardt dominated the sport, winning 7 Winston Cup Series championships, which tied him with the great Richard Petty. But Dale's legacy was not just tied to numbers or his victories on the racetrack. His legacy was about the way he raced, aggressive and fearless, and always with a determination to win, which earned him the nickname The Intimidator. But most would say that his legacy and career in race car driving was already defined. Born on April 29, 1951, in Kannapolis, North Carolina, a small mill town where racing was more than just a sport, it was a way of life, one which Dale Earnhardt was destined for. From a young age, Dale was deep into the world of motorsports. Dale's father, Ralph Earnhardt, was a well-respected and seasoned short-track racer who passed down both his knowledge and passion for racing. This led Dale to follow in his footsteps and then drop out of high school just to pursue his dream. Growing up, he was fascinated by the sound of engines and also the smell of motor oils. It quickly became clear that he shared his father's love for the racing track. However, when he displayed his interest in becoming a professional race car driver, his father did not agree to it. He knew the dangers and struggles that came with the sport and did not want his son pursuing a racing career. But despite his father's concerns, Dale's determination was unshakable. After dropping out of high school, he threw himself into the world of race competition. These small-town races helped him build his reputation and garner experience in truly racing with fierce competition on the track. However, despite following his dreams and having already had background training in short-track racing, Dale's rise in his career was anything but easy. In the early days of his career, he struggled financially, taking odd jobs just to keep racing. Dale continued for many years, searching and hoping for his big break in racing. And in 1975, while driving in the NASCAR Cup Series, his talent became undeniable. However, his entry into the big league was anything but smooth. Success didn't come early, and he faced numerous challenges as he tried to establish himself and his name in a highly competitive environment. It wasn't until 1979, during his first full season, that Earnhardt became a popular name in the racing world after winning Rookie of the Year by showcasing the aggressive driving style that set him apart from many others in the decade. But this was not all, because in the very next year, in 1980, he won his first NASCAR championship, which earned him his place amongst the sport's elites, making him the first driver ever to win Rookie of the Year and a championship in back-to-back seasons, and marking the beginning of one of the most remarkable careers in the history of racing. His racing style was truly what set him apart on the track. He was a force to be reckoned with, as he was always willing to take risks. His daring moves, including bold overtakes and strategic bumping, earned him both admiration and criticism. For fans, he was the ultimate competitor by embodying the spirit of NASCAR with his win-at-all-cost mentality. However, for his rivals, he was someone to be feared, someone who could dominate any race with his determination and skill. By the time he earned the nickname The Intimidator, he had become a NASCAR legend. From that point onward in his career, Earnhardt became a force to be reckoned with. He amassed 7 NASCAR championships to his name, a record he only shared with racetrack legends Richard Petty and Jimmy Johnson. He also won 76 Cup victories over his career, including his long-awaited Daytona 500 win in 1998. One of the most memorable things that happened after he won this race was seeing his competitors lined up along the pit road to shake his hand. It was a rare display of respect in a sport built on strong rivalries. But then, Earnhardt was more than just a driver. His victories were only part of what made him a great racer. Off the track, he was a complex individual and a businessman. While many of his peers saw him as fearless and aggressive, those who knew him personally saw a different side of him. Dale Earnhardt felt a deep appreciation for his fans and shared it in an interview where he said, "Without fans, we are nothing." This sentiment drove him to give his all in every race, knowing that his performance was not just for his personal glory, but also for creating unforgettable moments for those who supported him. In addition to his racing victories and impact on the track, Dale sought to share his skills and knowledge in the field with other young racers, and so he created Dale Earnhardt Incorporated, a racing team that soon became a powerhouse in NASCAR. However, years after his passing, his wife, Teresa Earnhardt, made decisions about the company that many fans and even family members questioned. But the story didn't start there. A family built on racing, Dale's personal life was just as eventful as his racing career. Balancing his responsibilities as a father and husband with the demands of a high-stake racing career was not easy due to his marriage with Teresa Earnhardt, who became the matriarch of the Earnhardt dynasty after his death. Most people do not know, but he was married 3 times. However, it was only Teresa that became widely known. She was a calculated and business-minded woman who played a key role in managing Dale's brand and team. However, just like most couples, their relationship wasn't without tension, especially when it came to how Dale's legacy was being handled after his death. Although the race car driver was blessed with 4 children, Dale Earnhardt Jr. carried on his father's racing legacy. Despite their close bond, Earnhardt Jr. often found himself at odds with Teresa, particularly over the future of DEI. In 2004, their conflict escalated when Earnhardt Jr. wanted an ownership stake in the team. Still, Teresa refused, which led to his departure in 2008, when he later joined Hendrick Motorsports. Although most thought that this action was to get back at his mother, many fans saw this as a betrayal, believing that DEI should have remained in Earnhardt's family's hands. However, aside from Dale Jr., Earnhardt's daughter, Kelly Earnhardt Miller, also played a key role in the family business in managing Earnhardt Jr.'s career, the tragedy that changed NASCAR forever. On February 18, 2001, real tragedy struck. Till now, this day remains one of the darkest days in NASCAR history. On the final lap of the Daytona 500, Earnhardt was leading a pack that included his son, Dale Jr., and his driver, Michael Waltrip. But in a cruel twist of fate, Earnhardt's car was hit as he tried to block competitors to protect his team, sending him headfirst into the outside wall at over 160 miles per hour. The entire stadium was frozen in dread, and at first, the impact seemed minor, and commentators even speculated that he might have walked away. But after some minutes, there was still no movement from his car, and many people became more worried. NASCAR later confirmed that Earnhardt had died instantly following the collision. His death sent shockwaves through the sport and led to massive changes. NASCAR then mandated the use of HANS devices, which helped to protect the hands and necks of race car drivers, improved helmets, and introduced safer barriers at racetracks to absorb crash impacts. But even in death, Earnhardt's legacy still lives on, and his presence is felt and seen everywhere in NASCAR. He is loved by all fans, not just for his outstanding accomplishments on the racetrack, but also for the fiery spirit he possessed. To this day, his fans hold up 3 fingers during the 3rd lap of races in his honor and memory, and also as a tribute to his famous number 3 car. His son, Dale Jr., became one of the most beloved drivers in history, winning the Most Popular Driver award 15 years in a row before retiring in 2017. Sadly, his company, DEI, did not have the same fate as under Teresa's control. It struggled to maintain dominance and, in the end, merged with another team. Regardless of this outcome, Earnhardt's legacy lives on. The mystery around Teresa Earnhardt. Years after his death, Teresa Earnhardt continued to work hard, ensuring that his legacy continues to inspire future generations of drivers and fans. Although Teresa has played a crucial role in managing and overseeing Dale Earnhardt Inc., her decisions after his death in 2001 sparked controversy, especially concerning her control over DEI and her relationship with Earnhardt Jr. As she finally opens up about their life together, her insights offer a deeper understanding of the man behind the legend. Her revelations paint a picture of a man who was as devoted to his family as he was to his craft. Still behind the struggle and pressures of a life fans didn't fully comprehend, Dale Earnhardt fought hard, not only to win on the racetrack, but also to balance fame with his responsibilities to his family. So, what really went on behind the closed doors of the Earnhardt household? When people think of Dale Earnhardt, they often associate him with speed, determination, and legendary achievements on the racetrack. However, few know that behind the spotlight, there was always his loyal companion and wife, Teresa Earnhardt. Teresa met Dale when he was still struggling to find his place in the racing world. They married in 1982, marking the beginning of a journey filled with glory, but also challenges. Many saw them as a power couple living the dream, but behind closed doors were stories that Teresa never shared. She once said that Dale was not always the intimidator. At home, he was a simple man who cherished peace with his family, but on the racetrack, he had to embody the unbeatable icon that every racer feared. She understood that to maintain this image, Dale had to sacrifice a great deal. And with that understanding, she took on duties that no one could fully understand. She wasn't just running Dale Enterprise from the sidelines, she ran it with sharpness and decisiveness. She ensured that every commercial and financial decision aligned with her husband's decision. She helped build DEI into a competitive NASCAR team, overseeing its success with drivers like Dale Jr., Michael Waltrip, and Martin Truex Jr. Under her leadership, DEI won several major races, including 2 victories in the Daytona 500 races. But Teresa was more than just the owner of Dale Incorporated. She was also a fierce protector of the Earnhardt name and brand, which often led to disputes, especially within the family. Her relationship with Dale Earnhardt Jr. in particular became strained over time and also became a hot topic for speculation. Many claimed she prioritized business over family bonds, leading to long-lasting tensions after Dale's passing. But according to her, everything she did served one purpose: to protect Dale's legacy and ensuring Earnhardt's name was always respected. She wasn't one to easily show emotions, and many described her as cold and distant, but beneath her cold exterior was a loving and warm heart weighed down by family responsibilities and the legacy of her husband. Through ups and downs, she stayed strong even in the face of pressure and difficulties. A shocking confession. During an interview after his passing, Teresa revealed that Dale struggled not only with public expectations, but also with himself. She recalled that he often sat alone after every race, whether he won or lost, silently reflecting on the weight of his legacy. She shared moments when Dale confided in her about his fear of dying, not because he was afraid of death itself, but because he feared he would no longer be himself without racing. The accidents involving his colleagues made this fear even more real for him, yet he chose to continue racing, as though it was the only way he truly felt alive. She also revealed that he always felt bad about the time he missed with family, birthdays, and quiet evenings alone. But whenever he returned home, he made every effort to make up for it in the time he shared with his family. She also shared that Dale's most incredible pride was his ability to connect with people. He didn't race just to win, but also to inspire those who watched him, making them feel his passion and strength. But when she talked about his final moments before the 2001 Daytona 500 race, Her voice softened. She recalled Dale sharing something that made her uneasy. "If anything happens, I want you to take care of everything we built," he said. Teresa shared that at the time, she thought it was just a passing comment, but sadly, it turned out to be the parting remark of the man she truly loved. Family conflicts. One of the most tremendous turmoil after Dale Earnhardt's death in 2001 was the long-standing feud between Dale Jr. and Teresa Earnhardt. Their conflict started when Dale Jr. tried to expand Dale Enterprise Incorporated, but Teresa had a different vision for the company. These clashing perspectives led to disputes between the two of them, and after that, Dale Jr. left Dale Enterprise Incorporated and signed with Hendrick Motorsports. The decision shocked fans and the NASCAR world. Many fans blamed Teresa for failing to keep the Earnhardt legacy within DEI and blaming her for prioritizing business over family. One of the most notable moments during their growing conflict happened in a 2006 interview when Teresa responded bluntly about Dale Jr.'s growing popularity. "He's got to decide whether he wants to be a race car driver or a public personality." Following the comment, the public felt that she didn't fully support Dale Jr.'s ambitions, which only increased the tension and distance between them. However, her conflicts do not end with Dale Jr. Another move that triggered controversies was in her legal battle over Earnhardt's name. In 2016, Teresa sued Carrie Earnhardt, Dale's eldest son from a previous marriage, over the use of the Earnhardt name for his home building business called the Earnhardt Collection. Many fans and family members saw this move as being excessive, believing she was trying to control something that rightfully belonged to all of Dale's children. Also, after years of legal battle with Dale Jr. over the right to ownership of the number 8 car, Dale Jr. won the legal battle. Still, he surprisingly expressed gratitude toward Teresa, acknowledging her business acumen in protecting the Earnhardt brand. During a recent interview, he said, "There's one thing that I'll say about Teresa. In terms of owning a trademark and protecting things like that, protecting our legacy and our family name, I have a lot of trust in her around those things." Many fans were caught off guard by his statement, which suggested a level of respect between them that few had expected. Teresa, on her part, stated that her decisions were misunderstood and that everything she did was rooted in her love for Dale, including her dedication to preserving what he left behind. But even after withdrawing from the public eye, at 66 years, Teresa Earnhardt remains an enigma who still holds control of the Dale brand and its remaining assets. The long-awaited revelation. For over 2 decades, the NASCAR community and fans of Dale Earnhardt have speculated about Teresa's motives, business decisions, and the secrets she might be keeping about Dale Earnhardt. Now, at age 66, she has finally made a revelation that both confirms long-standing suspicions and adds a shocking new chapter to the Earnhardt legacy, giving fans a deeper understanding of the pressures of fame and legacy on his family. However, her revelation was not limited to Earnhardt's fears and relationships with his family. Teresa also made it known that she has plans to develop part of Dale Earnhardt's estate into an industrial park. This revelation has since drawn significant criticism from fans who view it as a betrayal of his memory and legacy. For years, this property was seen as a sacred place deeply tied to Dale Earnhardt's love for the outdoors and private retreats from the NASCAR spotlight. Teresa's decisions have since sparked debates over whether she is simply making a business decision or has finally revealed her true priorities. A lasting legacy. For many fans, Teresa's latest decision and announcement of the industrial park only confirmed something that they feared all along. Over the years, most fans have speculated that Teresa Earnhardt is more of a businesswoman than a guardian of Dale's legacy, while others argue that it's unfair to expect her to keep preserving everything in the same way it used to be, being that it has been over 20 years since Dale's death. Meanwhile, some of Dale's fans have shared that her decision has given them closure, and that they believe that Teresa, letting go of the major control of the Earnhardt legacy, was necessary. However, some fans still remain skeptical of this decision, wondering if this was just another strategic business move. But whatever the case may be, Dale's legacy was rooted in more than just being a NASCAR legend. It has endured through safety innovations inspired by his tragic death, his son's racing career, and the deep loyalty of his fans. So, despite Teresa's latest revelation, Dale's legacy as an icon of resilience, fearlessness, and dedication to the sport will continue to remain. The impact of Teresa's revelations. As Teresa Earnhardt continues to step further away from public life, her influence on Dale's legacy is starting to fade. But, over the years, most fans have wondered if her revelation was a long overdue act of goodwill or just another chapter in the Earnhardt family controversy. But despite the overwhelming criticism and backlash she has faced, some NASCAR insiders still believe that Teresa has done exactly what her late husband would have wanted and protected his brand from being commercialized by outside parties. She has remained fiercely private, refusing to be drawn into public feuds. Those who support her argue that she was simply trying to maintain DEI's original vision and that Dale Jr.'s decision to leave DEI in 2007 was ultimately his choice. In addition, some have also pointed out and commended her for successfully fighting legal battles to prevent the unauthorized use of Dale Earnhardt's name and likeness. But while this further alienated her from her husband's extended family, Teresa's supporters claim she was only trying to protect the legacy from becoming diluted. Today, regardless of where one stands, there is no denying that Teresa's choices have had a profound impact on Dale Earnhardt's legacy. Whether it was the building of DEI, the bitter public feuds with Dale Jr., or her controversial real estate plans, her decisions have always ensured that her name will always be tied to the Intimidator in a complex and divisive way. However, with or without Teresa's influence, one thing is certain: Dale Earnhardt's legacy will continue to endure. Dale Earnhardt's influence on racetrack driving wasn't just about his championship or series wins. It was about his attitude on the track, his unwavering passion for competition, and his influence as the Intimidator. What do you think about Dale Earnhardt? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Before you go, click on the next video below.